What's good, YouTube? Hopefully, you guys are blessed. We are back again with another reaction. Welcome back to the Day After podcast. Mr. Darwin McPherson, this should be an interesting one, man. 10 most dangerous mistakes men make in relationships. I don't know what it is. I can't wait to react to it. I know you guys can't wait to see the reaction as well. This one should be an interesting one. Without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. All right, listen, I'll leave the full video link in the description as well, guys, if you guys want to go and check out the channel. But I want to know, man, let's get in the comments. Let's get going. Let's get it cracking. You know what I mean? Let us know if you agree with all 10. I will tell you if I agree with all 10. I'll tell you the ones I disagree with. Let's get going.
What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're breaking down the 10 most dangerous mistakes that you should never make in a relationship. Now, a lot of men are currently making these mistakes, and I know they are because I speak to hundreds of men monthly, and sadly, most of them don't even know they're making these mistakes, which is why I took it upon myself to make sure my fellow man who finds this video can walk away fully aware so that they can make some critical changes I'm going to reveal and have a healthy relationship. First up, a lot of men settle for women who don't know the first thing about cooperation.
Let's go back to that one. Let's go back.
First up, a lot of men settle.
A lot of men settle for women who lack cooperation. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Is that a true? I don't think. For me personally, no, I wouldn't. But I would. Yeah, you need someone that's going to be down with you, man. You know what I mean, and making sure they are pulling their weight, pulling their part, doing their bit in the relationship. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would never settle for anyone. So yeah, I'd say I agree with this one. I wouldn't settle for anyone that doesn't cooperate with anything that you have to say or do. So I agree 100% with this one.
For women who don't know the first thing about cooperation. Fellas, that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in a relationship. Without teamwork, you're basically carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders while she's just along for the ride. Relationships need joint discussions, support, and shared responsibility. If you're with someone who refuses to cooperate, you're setting yourself up for disaster, financially, emotionally, and romantically, and in every other way. Every relationship involves two people with different approaches and experiences. What cooperation does is bridge those differences, allowing both people to work in harmony despite their unique ways of handling situations.
Yeah, I agree, man, because I feel like communication is a big part of it as well, man. You have to know how to communicate well, because I think that's where a lot of breakdowns in relationships happen, where one party doesn't know how to communicate, the other one wants to communicate, and then they don't know. And sometimes it's something like simple as, I might just need you to do the dishes an extra day because, I feel like I'm the one doing them. But you build up that resentment within you instead of having a good conversation. Go, look, it's simple, innit? Can you just do them on these days? Because I feel like I'm doing them more. It's not an issue. I don't mind doing them, but obviously sometimes takes a toll because there's other things I probably, have to do or plan within that day, but I've got to do this. The other thing you can do is just buy a dishwasher. Who knows, man? But even loading them could be an issue as well. But yeah, I agree.
If she's not willing to meet you halfway, it's like trying to row a boat with one paddle. You're just gonna go in circles. And I know that was probably corny, but let me break it down for you. My wife and I were on a road trip one day, and out of nowhere the truck broke down, and we were stuck in the middle of nowhere in 95-degree heat. No shade, no gas station in sight. Now I could have been stressed out, but here's the difference. I got a cooperative woman by my side, so I popped the hood, checked to see if it could fix the issue. While I was doing that, she popped the trunk, grabbed some water from the cooler, and said, "I'll call the insurance and get someone out here." That's cooperation. And after figuring out it was an electrical issue, my wife.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. I think, in these relationships, man, we have to just communicate a bit better than what we've been doing as people anyway.
My wife had already arranged for a tow truck, lined up a rental car, and we were back on the road like nothing ever happened. That's what teamwork looks like. Now, a woman who doesn't cooperate, she's sitting in the car scrolling through Instagram while you do everything. And I'm telling you right now, if you accept that, you're going to be alone when the real challenges hit. Cooperation is the key to any successful relationship.
Yeah, how can you even sit there, bro? If the car breaks down, you're sitting there on Instagram, bro. I'd throw your phone out the window. What do you mean? Let's get, let's get cracking. Might need to get the jack. I'll do the, teamwork.
And without it, you just set yourself up for failure. So don't accept anything less than a woman who's willing to work with you, not against you. A relationship is about building life together. And if she can't cooperate when times get tough, she's not the one for you. The next dangerous mistake men are constantly making is overlooking the fact that a woman is unimpressionable. One of the
unimpressionable.
biggest mistake men make is committing to a woman who is unimpressionable.
And I agree, because you have to be able to they have to be able to understand and listen to everything that you have to say, and not take everything to heart. Instead of going, I'm not going to do it this way because he believes in it. I need to do things my own way, which is fine. There's some aspects in life, yeah, you're going to do things your own way. But when you're in a relationship, a committed relationship, you have to be able to, understand where that person's coming from, and take certain ideas that they have and implement it in your own personal point of views, man. But yeah, if they're not going to do that, if they just want to be like, nah, I'm just here and I'm doing what I want to do, yeah, get rid of that person.
I get it. Times aren't like they used to be. Women today come into relationships with a history, sexual preferences, deal breakers, and needs that have already been shaped by other men. And the more dudes she been with, the less impressionable she becomes.
100%, man. Yeah, the numbers, I know it shouldn't be a thing, and sometimes it sounds childish about body counts and stuff like that, but yeah, I think it matters, man, because if she's had so many different sexual partners, you're talking about 10, 20, 30, and whatever, it's so many people that she's going to now compare you to from a financial standpoint, sexual standpoint, emotional standpoint. There's so many different things that they're going to, or she or that person's going to, compare you to. You're never going to kind of win. There's always going to be a failure within your relationship because you're never going to tick all the boxes she's probably set in her mind.
So why is this a problem? Well, back in the day, a woman will go straight from her father's household to her husband's. She was young, untouched by other men, and most impressionable during that time. Today, it's a whole different ballgame. Young women are already building sexual preferences and emotional attachments before they even leave high school. So when a woman has had multiple experiences with other men, she's already been shaped by them. She can't be reshaped by you. And that's a huge red flag for long-term commitment. So let's talk about how you can tell if a woman is unimpressionable. If she's constantly telling you to be more romantic, more aggressive, or more this, more that, what she's really saying is, I've been imprinted by other men.
100%. I agree with that one still. Yeah, if she's ever telling you about, she needs to want this and I'm not saying, ladies, I know some of the ladies listen to the videos and stuff like that. We need your thoughts as well on these ones. There's 2 so far he's dropped. Let us know what you think as well. Man, them, let us know what you think also. But yeah, there's too many preferences out there. There's too many men that these women have, not all women, but this particular conversation, this particular woman, he spoke about, she leaving her, father's household and then straight into the husband's household. That means you can then, I'm not saying shit because it sounds mad weird, innit? I think that's what society's brought us to, when it sounds mad weird, like you're going to try and control her, shape her to who you want her to be. I think it works both ways, innit? But at the same time, if she wants more and more and more, and that's where I said the more sexual partner she has, she's always going to compare you to them.
And I expect you to measure up to them. She's been with men who set a certain standard, and now she's stuck on those levels. She can't adjust to who you are. So she's trying to get you to adjust to her expectations. That's not cooperation. That's manipulation. You're the one been into her past, not the other way around. So what's the alternative? The more men she's been with, the less impressionable she is. And that makes it harder for you to form a unique bond. You end up competing with ghosts from her past. If you don't recognize this early, you'll find yourself in a situation where you're always trying to meet her standard, and she's never satisfied with who you really are. Now, what you can do is find a woman who is impressive, someone who can connect with you and grow with you, not someone who's trying to make you fit into the mold that other men left behind. This is arguably one of the most fundamental qualities of a successful long-term relationship. Never overlook it. Next mistake, accepting a woman who doesn't compromise. Here's the truth.
Facts, man. Listen, guys, man, you have to be able to, and it works both ways as well, but obviously this is about the ladies. So, you have to have a woman that can compromise, that can go, do you know what? We can't do this today, but can we do this? Can she come up with different solutions as well with you if you have any issues? She has to be able to, if I'm going to do the dishes on this day, can you do the dishes on that day? If there's a moment of argument where, I don't want to do them, then that's where you have the issue. And that's where I think there's always going to be tension and arguments and resentment that gets built up between you. You have to have someone that's willing to compromise, even on the smallest things, because if they can't do the smallest things and compromise on those, why do you think they'll do the bigger things?
A woman who refuses to compromise is a deal breaker for any man looking for a long-term relationship.
100%.
Compromise is one of the most valuable qualities a woman can bring to a relationship because it shows she's willing to submit to the leadership of her man. Without this, you're setting yourself up for constant conflict. Now, why is this important? A woman who compromises knows how to be led. She trusts her man's judgment and understands that sometimes it's in the best interest of the relationship to shift her position. But here's the thing. This only works if the man knows how to lead. If
Yeah,
you can't
true.
clearly communicate why her compromise is necessary or in the best interest of both of you, she's not going to budge. And when that happens, you're left with two options. Either you give in or you end up fighting every time a decision has to be made. And that's not a healthy dynamic, because I've seen this play out time and time again with men who think it's okay to keep compromising just to keep the peace. Sure, in some situations, a man
Yeah, happy wife, happy life, man. I always hear that kind of statement getting thrown out. But yeah, never compromise. Never compromise and drop your standards, because this is one of the deal breakers for me as well. Yeah, I would never drop that. Never. So I agree totally with number 3 as
might
well.
need to compromise. There's no doubt about that. But when it becomes a habit, it's a sign of weakness, and the respect she has for you will start to fade. A woman needs to see that you can stand firm on your values and your decisions, especially when they're just and righteous. Because when a woman refuses to compromise, she becomes combative in every scenario that requires adjustment. You'll be the only one bending over backward while she stays locked into her own values. Trust me, this is a losing battle. A strong man leads with confidence and can explain why certain compromises are necessary. When you stand your ground on something that matters, she should respect that and follow your lead. Now, what you could do is learn to have a strong, unshakable position. When you're justified in your stance, be unwavering. A woman who respects you will eventually understand why your position is in the best interest of the relationship. Compromise shouldn't
100%.
always come from you. She needs to bring that to the table too. And if she doesn't, she's not the right one for a long-term relationship. She's for the streets. The next dangerous mistake is accepting a woman who doesn't equally value all desirable traits. One of the biggest mistakes men make is accepting women who don't know how to equally value all of the important traits that are brought into a relationship. Too many
What are they like? You've got obviously staying. Don't cheat in that relationship, making sure she's not showing off certain things outside of that relationship. For i.e., let's use social media for an example. One of mine would be you're not on social media throwing explicit like type photos, maybe videos of you dancing on because that's my rules and standards I want to set, and it goes vice versa. I wouldn't be online just with the shirt off and doing whatever. So I wouldn't expect you to be doing that stuff. You know what I mean? We're meant to keep those stuff inside. Outside, we have to be, you have to be modest, man. You can't be out here showing all these explicit photos. Leave something for the imagination, man, because these men out here are thirsty as well at the same time. So you're throwing stuff out there. That means you ain't locked into your man. If you're throwing those type of videos and those type of photos out there to get, recognition from out the outside source, then you're still shopping. You're not locked in. You haven't bought what you wanted. You haven't seen what you wanted. So you're still out there shopping by throwing these stuff out there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I agree with this as well.
Many women out here are putting certain qualities, whether it's physical appearance, personality, or character, above others. And that's a problem. All desirable traits need to be valued equally, not ranked in some kind of order. Why is this a problem? The importance of different traits is subjective to the man she's with. For example, I've noticed through my experience working with men that those who prioritize fitness and want their woman to value fitness too, they find healthily physically fit women more attractive. On the flip side, men who don't care as much about their own fitness tend to compromise. They don't mind if their partner isn't in great shape. But here's where it gets tricky. When a woman starts to prioritize certain traits, like character over physical appearance, she'll optimize one and completely neglect the other. That's a critical error. A woman who focuses entirely on character but lets her appearance slide is making a mistake of putting qualities in an order of importance, when in reality, all of them need equal attention. I want you to imagine a woman who believes that character is more important than physical appearance. She might spend all her energy developing her personality, being kind, supportive, and nurturing, but in the process, she neglects her fitness and appearance. So what happens? She leans too hard on one area and ignores others, thinking her character alone will carry the relationship. You see, a well-rounded woman, one who values character, physical appearance, and other traits equally, is rare but highly valuable. She doesn't
Look, I agree with what you're saying as well, and I have to try and help the ladies out with this one as well. I feel like it depends though. There's a certain type of lady. So I think if you're in a relationship, you got kids, whatever it may be, that could be a struggle for you as well. As long as if you're not like mentally strong to kind of keep going and going, I need to make sure I'm equally balancing out every aspect of my life, and it goes for the men as well. I think that's what might happen when you have so much responsibility. I feel like if you have time for social media, if you have time to sit and watch TV programs, if you have time to watch movies, you have time to go and work on all of these aspects. Yes, you can take your eye off the ball for a bit. Yes, that can happen. It's just human nature. But then once you lock back in, you have to lock back in and make sure equally you're looking after all of these aspects of your life. And I feel like that's what we don't do enough. So when people try and tell me, well, I don't have enough time to do this, I'm like, all right, let's see your phone, because your phone is a unique tool now. It will show you how much, your day-to-day breaks down by how much you use your phone. It will tell you today I've used 7 hours. I've been on 7 hours on YouTube. I've been 3 hours on Instagram. I've been 4 hours on TikTok. So you accumulate that, and then you tell someone that I didn't have the time to cook today. I didn't have the time to go to the gym today. I didn't have the time. Well, clearly you do, because you spent close to 18 hours in your day doing random stuff. And I'm not saying you spent all that time, all together, but a breakdown of your day, you might have stopped for an hour, then jump back. You've got enough time to do a 20-minute HIIT workout. You've got the time to read a book. You've got the time to have a conversation. You have the time to meditate. You have the time. It's just about being structurally, right in terms of your day-to-day. Right, prioritize. I've got work today. Right, what time do I finish? Can I do a HIIT workout in the morning for 20 minutes and then have a shower, get ready? Could I go to the gym? Could I get up an hour earlier, go to the gym for half an hour, 45 minutes? Could I, once I get back from work, could I start, cooking or prepping, or do I speak to my partner? Can you prep? But when I'm done, then you can. Do you know what I mean? There's so much things you can do, but when you sit on your phone all day, no wonder you don't have the time to do one of these things.
Put one trait above the other. She understands that her partner needs all of these things to be in balance. When a woman can be well-rounded, she becomes what people call a high-value woman. So if a woman doesn't know how to equally value all of the desirable traits in a relationship, she's going to be lacking in some areas. You need to look for a woman who understands the importance of balancing everything. Appearance, character, communication, fitness, whatever. Don't settle for someone who's leaning too hard in one direction and neglecting the rest. A truly valuable woman sees the big picture, knows how to maintain all aspects of herself. Next up is accepting women with male friends for relationships. Here's a hard truth.
Yeah. We ain't doing that, bro. I even get. Do you know what? As men, come in. Let's listen now. Get close. I don't even like hearing about another male person in her life, in terms of like, if your woman works and stuff. They'd be like, oh yeah, John said this today. And I'm like, bro, I don't even want to hear what John said. John don't exist in my reality. And if I hear John's name again, I might have to turn up. That's the mentality. As many, you can't have, your woman can't have a close friend as a male. Listen, I'm not saying women can't have friends that are men, but we know how men think. We know how we are when it comes to certain things. There's no men out here that goes, I like this girl as a friend only. Not from the ones I've seen, not from the ones, like looking at surveys, reading, whatever it may be. I have not seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but you're talking about the minority. I'm talking about the majority in the context of we're having this conversation. Your woman can't have a best friend that is a man, bro. That's crazy. Oh, she's going on dates. Oh yeah, me and John are going on. I don't know why I'm thinking of John, bro. John's just a random name came in my head. Yeah, me and John are going for lunch. Me and John are. Oh yeah, John asked if we can, we're going out here. John, excuse me, bro. Do you need to go and get yourself a girlfriend, John, or do something, bro? I know you're spending too much time with my lady, bro. That's crazy. But that's what I mean. And some men would just accept this, and you don't realize, like, John is just putting in the graft. He understands it. Yes, you can trust your female. I think you should be able to trust your female, but we just know how men think. Men understand men. Women understand women. So when a woman goes, yeah, I don't like how she's mad close with you still, just understand she's seen certain aspects of how the behavioral traits is of a woman. She's like, nah, like my man he's good looking, he's in good shape, he's a high value man in terms of he has a good job, whatever it may be, as you can put that stamp on what you think a high value person is. So she's looking at that as another female going, I don't like her because I know what she's doing. And the same goes for the men. The men knows the reason why that guy is close to you, bro. It isn't because he's just a good friend. No, it's not. Trust me.
Men who understand the boundaries of relationships don't feel comfortable with their women having male friends. And they communicate this early on before things get serious. If you haven't set that boundary, you're putting yourself at risk. because the friend zone is a position a woman places a man in when she doesn't find him fitting for an exclusive intimate relationship, but she keeps him around because he's nice, helpful, or gives her attention. What many men fail to realize is that the male friends in her life may be in his zone, but they still have a chance to break out of it. In fact, some reports suggest that men in the friend zone have an increased chance of getting sex when a woman becomes vulnerable, emotionally
Mm.
needy, or faces life challenges. And you need to know that attention from other men is like dopamine for a woman. Let's say your woman has male friends who are constantly complimenting her, telling her how beautiful, fun, or amazing she is, far more than you do as a partner. These male friends might be lying or exaggerating just to keep her happy, while you're trying to be real and honest. So what happens is she starts craving that external validation and attention, and eventually she begins valuing their words more than
100%.
yours. She may even start drawing comparisons and telling you things like, why can't you compliment me? Why can't you compliment me like this? Why can't you compliment me like that? When a woman is surrounded by men who give her the kind of attention you can't or won't match, it starts tampering with her impressionability. She'll begin to lean into what her male friends say and think, rather than valuing your opinion as her partner. You don't want your woman to be influenced by other men in her circle. Male friends can tamper with her impressionability, creating unnecessary tension in the relationship. If your woman values the attention she gets from other men more than what you offer, you got a problem. She'll
100%.
end up comparing you to them, and that's a losing battle. So set clear boundaries from the start. If you're in a serious relationship, it's important that you communicate how you feel about her having male friends. Let her know that your relationship is exclusive, and she should value your attention and affection above anyone else's. If she can't respect
And then the other
that,
side of
she's
it
not the
is,
one for you. She belongs to the streets.
and the other side of it as well is that, it's the question: what do I then do if you didn't set that boundary early? That's going to be a tough one, man. I think it's a conversation. If you're in that situation now, and there's male friends around and whatever, and you didn't set that initial boundary from early, it's something you might have to sit down and discuss, and then maybe you have to deal with the outcome of the situation. But yeah, I think the earlier you kind of set these parameters and these standards that you want, and if she doesn't want to and she's a baddie and she looks good or whatever, yeah, just let her go, bro. Like, it's not for you. There's so many more women out there. It used to be 3-1. I think it's now down to 2-1 women to men ratio on the planet. So yeah, just there's another woman out there for you. That's all I'm gonna say. But you have to set these kind of boundaries, bro. Trust me, it saves the headache in the long run.
Next dangerous mistake is allowing women to nag and complain without identifying the problem. You gotta stop allowing a woman to constantly nag and complain without ever revealing a clear problem for you to solve. We are natural problem solvers. It's in our nature.
We're very yeah, that's true. We're problem solvers and we're logical thinkers. So if a woman is complaining about a certain thing, but she's not sticking to what it is, she's just complaining and complaining. We would, if I was you, sit down and go, let's identify what the issue is. Sometimes they'll go, I don't know what the issue is, but you have to then stand on ground with that one and go, listen, you've been complaining for too much. You've been nagging for a few days. I don't like the energy that you're bringing in within the household, whatever it may be. So we need to identify what the issue is, because at the moment you're bringing me down, you're bringing everyone else down around us. So let's fix this issue. Let's try and solve it so we can move forward. And if she doesn't want to solve it and she doesn't, then bro, like, you just have to let her go, man. What's the point? What's the point? Because at the end of the day, if they don't want to solve the issues or they don't want to think about it, they just want to leave it, then where do you stand with them? Because every time they come in, they're gonna have an issue and they're gonna have a problem. Then you're sitting on the outside of the fence. You don't know what's causing these. You got to get down to the nicks and crannies, man, or whatever that issue is.
But you can't solve anything if the woman isn't able to articulate what she's actually frustrated or hurt by. Because when a woman constantly complains without identifying a clear issue, it leads to emotional exhaustion. We
Trust.
sit there listening to her vent over and over again, but without a solution in sight. We start to check out emotionally. If all we're hearing is nagging without any actionable problem, we eventually disconnect from the relationship. And over time, this makes us nonchalant and indifferent, which is a dangerous place to be. If a woman can't tell you exactly what's wrong and instead just complains in vague terms, you're stuck in a cycle of frustration. You're trying to figure out what the problem is, but there's no clear direction. Over time, the emotional connection fades. It's like trying to fix something without knowing what's broken. You eventually stop caring, and that's when loyalty starts to fade, respect disappears, and you begin to withdraw from her emotionally. When a man feels emotionally disconnected, the relationship becomes hollow. We don't necessarily shut down, but the feelings we once had start to vanish. Then the woman becomes undisciplined, uncooperative, and lacks submission. The emotional wall gets stronger. And once the wall is up, it's hard to tear down. But a woman who can communicate clearly and precisely is someone you can work with. She's able to.
And that takes time though, like communicating clearly, because even I struggle with that from the off at times, yeah. But now I've been able to understand how to communicate and saying how I feel, because I'm someone that normally bottles everything up. I always try and protect other people's feelings and don't worry what, try and, make sure everyone's kind of happy and blah, blah. I realize every time I bottle it up, man, I become like, when the outburst happens, it's not good for anyone. Do you know what I mean? So my standpoint now is open and honest. Just tell them how you feel, bro, straight away. And if a woman can't break down or articulate what she's going through from a communicational standpoint, you got to tell her, like, you have to learn that. Help her try and learn it. But if she doesn't want to learn it, then what's the point, bro? Because all you're going to do, exactly what you said, you're going to be in an emotional roller coaster, bro. It's literally going to go round and round. You know what I mean? You're never going to be able to solve the issue. And that's going to mentally and physically drain you from an emotional standpoint as well.
Express what's bothering her in a way that allows you to jump into action and find a solution. But if she can't do that and just keeps fucking nagging without giving you something tangible to solve, it leads to disconnect that can ruin a relationship. So fellas, you need to set boundaries when it comes to communication. If your woman is bitching all the time, make it clear that she needs to identify the problem so you can solve it. You're not there just to listen to endless complaints. You're there to fix things and move forward.
Hey, I'm not HR, bro. I'm not HR. Do you know what I mean?
Can't do that, emotional disconnect will grow. And once you stop feeling anything for her, relationship is over. Now, this next mistake, no.
So far, I've agreed with all 6. Let's see, man. Now, maybe we're on number 7. I don't know. I haven't disagreed with anything yet.
One ever talks about. No coaches, no experts, no therapists. I'm probably the only one that's going to tell you this. Society don't want men to know this. And that's valuing love over respect and appreciation. But before we get into that, real quick, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And to show my appreciation to you, I provided a link to a gift. It's located in the description. Now, one of the biggest mistakes men make is putting love above respect in a relationship.
Yeah, no, I never do that. That's you have to. The respect is a massive part. Respect is shown over little things. It could be like, babe, look, I don't even like this. Can you not do that? And then she goes and does that. That's already, for me, I switch off completely. I'm like, yeah, you don't respect anything I have to say. And I'm not saying it necessarily needs to be a big thing or small thing, depending on what scale you put it on. But it's just the general thing. If something you don't like, and you make that open and clear, like, look, babe, I don't like that. I don't like the way that looks, or I don't like the way that you do that. And then she doesn't take that and go, I respect it. And it goes vice versa for the men. But obviously, we're talking about the women at the moment. Then, yeah, man, the respect. I can't then just go, because I love her, let's just forget about it. Nah, man, because I feel like that's disrespectful. And you have to keep that respect boundary, has to be your main priority.
Let me be clear. They are not the same. A lot of men get caught up in the idea of being loved. But the truth is, men value respect more than anything else. Because a woman can love you and still be disrespectful. That's right. Love alone doesn't guarantee loyalty or good behavior. A man would rather have a woman who respects him than the one who simply says she loves him. Disrespectful women tend to become disloyal. And they have a habit of betraying men when they stop feeling the emotional highs of love. But a woman who respects you, even if she doesn't love you in the moment, she won't betray you. She'll rather work through it. Or if love is a priority for her, she'll end the relationship respectfully. And you need to know that love fluctuates. In every relationship, there are ups and downs. Times when you're in love and times when the feeling fades. That's normal. But respect, that has to be constant. When a woman respects you, she won't cheat just because she's not feeling the love that day. She'll maintain loyalty and good behavior even when love comes and goes.
Yeah,
but if she loses respect for you, it's a different story. She won't even bother to communicate her need for love. She'll go and bust it open for someone else. You need to make it clear from the start that respect is non-negotiable. Love is important, but respect holds the relationship together when the love fluctuates. Communication is key here. Couples who can communicate well can bring love back when it fades. But a woman who doesn't respect you won't even try to have that conversation. She'll act on her feelings and seek validation elsewhere. So, as a man, you should prioritize respect over love. Let your woman know that respect is the foundation of your relationship. And without it, love doesn't mean a damn thing. If a woman can respect you, the relationship has a chance to weather the ups and downs of love. But if she disrespects you, the relationship is ruined, no matter how much love she claims to have for you. Next up is very common, and it's bending to a woman's lifestyle you can't afford. One major mistake men make is trying to meet the demands of a lifestyle they simply can't afford. In today's economy, many men feel pressured to adjust their...
I have never done that, to be fair. I don't think I've ever attracted the women that prioritize materialistic things anyway, over over just being, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Just being a normal day-to-day kind of human being instead of just being the materialistic, the ones that see everything online and go, I must have this. This is what I need to just be a person of any value. Yeah, I don't think I've ever attracted those type of women. And I think if I ever have, maybe it's been just a one night thing. I don't know. I've never, for a relationship standpoint, never. I've never. I've always chose the more down to earth type of women instead of the materialistic one. I think I saw once, you know, maybe in a past relate, and that one was like a red flag. I remember was, at the time I wasn't driving. I remember the way that this person reacted over someone else that was driving, and I was like, "Raw, okay, you're a bit materialistic still, because it's not like we couldn't get anywhere, and it's not like we didn't have money and whatever." But it was just a materialistic style, and I just locked that off straight away. So, but it wasn't even a relationship standpoint. It was more of a like, oh, we're just seeing how things go. But I was just like, nah, don't like that. Didn't like it when I saw it. That was already a trigger sign. So I was like, yeah, get rid of that ASAP.
Entire lives to satisfy the wants of a woman. But that's a fast track to a broken relationship, because women need to understand that the lifestyle they want depends entirely on what the man earns and how financially stable and responsible he is. So let's say you're a man with an apartment, one vehicle, and you're financially stable, and this is your lifestyle. You meet a woman who wants to go out frequently, buy designer bags, have a second car, receive a shopping allowance, and travel regularly. She also wants multiple kids, to stay at home, and work on her personal projects. If your current earnings don't support this lifestyle, you're going to struggle to provide everything she wants. Trying to meet her demands will either drive you into financial strain or push you to work endlessly, sacrificing your peace of mind. It's a losing situation. Meanwhile, the relationship will likely fail because it's
And
built.
that only happens unless you're like a simply type of man, or she looks really good and you don't want to lose her. You don't think there's other women out there that looks like her, even better than her. And that's the thing as well. In it, as men, sometimes we're physical creatures in it. So when we look at you, first thing is how you look, attraction, right? And then we get to kind of know you. The women's are more the emotional ones. Obviously, the looks are for them as well because they need that, but they want to see the emotional. They bond with you more of an emotional, but with us, it's more physical. So a man will see a woman, she looks 10-10 and go, yeah, I can't lose her. I need to do exactly what he's saying now is, let's go out there and get and work hard and blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, the end goal is you could find a woman that's more down to earth and leave and look better than what she does. But because you feel like maybe your standards, you go like, I can't believe I bagged her. You don't, you drop your standards and drop your kind of, benchmarks and things you've set so you can just keep her. And that's something you can't do as a man.
On the wrong foundation. Her wants outweigh what you can realistically provide. Now let's take a different scenario. You meet a woman who's comfortable with your current lifestyle. She doesn't need designer bags. She's fine with staying in, sharing one vehicle, and doesn't expect extravagant travel. She's willing to work with what you built. She cooks, keeps the home, and helps maintain a lifestyle you can afford. That's a traditional woman, and she fits into your existing system without you having to break your back to change it. This type of relationship works because it's sustainable. Now, modern women often expect men to elevate their lifestyle. They want you to upgrade your current system to fit their desires. If you can't afford their expectations, you're forced to either go 50-50 on the finances or reconstruct your entire life to fit her in. This is where men need to approach dating with a calculator in mind, analyzing her maintenance costs before even considering whether you can afford her lifestyle. So women need to vet men based on the lifestyle they desire. And
just check their social media. I promise you, man, you be able to sieve out these type of women. Just check their social media accounts. You just see it because they put everything on there. You just see their lifestyle based around what they do, and you'll know, does that fit into the budget of my lifestyle? You know what I mean? Does what she wants to do every night, every weekend, she wants to go out, she wants to go to these class restaurants. She doesn't want to sit in, she doesn't want to cook. These little things there, you already know, right, I'm earning this amount, which is good. I can look after her and stuff. But if it's every day, every night, and she wants this and she wants to shop, then what's the point at the end of the day? Just to keep her happy? Nah. You have to have balance.
and date accordingly. She needs to understand what it costs to maintain her lifestyle and align herself with men who can afford it. But most importantly, she must recognize what the man expects in return for providing that lifestyle. If she's not willing to meet his expectations, she shouldn't assume he'll cover her as a provider. And fellas, don't bend to a woman's lifestyle if it's beyond your current means. Date within your financial limits and find a woman who fits into your system rather than trying to force yourself into hers. Now, even though this isn't the last of the 10 mistakes, eggs. It is literally the most dangerous one of them all. Fellas, it is crucial that you remember this, because this is what a woman's player's card is built on.
Let's lock in now, lads. Let's lock in. Let's get close. Let's huddle up, man. Let's get to it. Let's hear this one.
It's something no other influencer or mentor would tell you, and that is accepting women who remain hypergamous during a relationship. One brutal mistake men make is accepting women who continue to behave hypergamous after the relationship begins. While hypergamy can help a woman select the man she feels she desires, it becomes a curse when she doesn't know how to settle down. Because men by nature are hypogamous. It's a difference. We've mastered the art of settling because it's in our DNA. Once we decide to commit, we can settle into a monogamous relationship without constantly seeking something better. We can date down. But women, they're wired for hypergamy, constantly looking for the best option, always seeking to trade up. This hypergamous instinct can make a woman unimpressionable. We talked about that earlier. When she's always looking for the next best thing, it's nearly impossible for her to form a strong emotional bond and settle down. What's even worse is when she starts to decline from her peak value. Still holds,
and I think that links in with one of the other ones he said as well about, you know, not allowing your woman to have like male friends or male best friends, because he's right, man. They're always going to be seeking for that higher standard of a man, even within it. Some women are not naturally, you know, they're not naturally the ones that want to settle down straight away. They speak about it, they want to get married, they want to have kids, blah blah blah. But if your man falls off a cliff in terms from a physique standpoint, wealth standpoint, they're always then going to be like, raw, I need to maintain this, so I need to go and find the next one, and I need to go and make sure I'm there. And that's why you see, you know, I know they do a lot of surveys, especially like looking at the podcasts over in America. And they're like, women are normally the ones initiating divorces in America. I don't know the kind of the details of the reasons, you know, why. So that's why I never really speak on it. But there must be, you know, there must be a reason, and it shows because we just settle down. Like you know, we're cool, man. We're calm. You know what I mean? We're calm to just be within this, you know, this group where women are always thinking, I can do better. I need more. I want this. I want, which is fine to do that, but you're always gonna find yourself wanting. And when is enough going to be enough? And that's where the issues may lie, man. So I think I agree with this
on to
one as
those
well.
same high expectations. Her preferences no longer match the value she brings. And that's when hypergamy becomes a curse. It's important that you understand when a woman maintains hypergamy during a relationship, she's at the highest risk of monkey branching. And that
Yeah, and that's the same thing when you're, you know, there's social media, they're half naked photos, just doing random stuff on there, always going out, you know, stuff like that. Don't want to be in, you know, be at home and stuff like that, and just be, you know, sitting, relaxing, watching a movie and cooking some dinner and just being in home. I'm not saying all women, but from the context of this conversation, I know there's women out there. I know a few that wants to chill at home and relax and do those great stuff. But there are a lot of them out there now, especially in this the modern dating world. What I've seen, man, it's crazy. It's crazy out there.
That's moving from one man to the next without ever settling. Hypergamy creates a burning lust for the next best thing, leading to FOMO, a fear of missing out. And when a woman feels like she's missing out, that's when cheating happens. She'll seek out the man she thinks is better. And in most cases, that's the guy she cheats with. This behavior is different from men. When men step out in a relationship, it's often about filling a void, and usually with women that we wouldn't even settle down with. But when a hypergamous woman steps out, she's usually already thinking of the next guy she want to be with. A woman who doesn't turn off her hypergamous nature during a relationship is dangerous. She's always going to be at risk of promiscuity and infidelity. And that's why it's essential to be with a woman who knows how to settle down and isn't constantly seeking something better. When a man commits to monogamy, the woman must also turn off her hypergamy to ensure loyalty. So as a man, don't accept a woman who continues to display hypergamous tendencies once the relationship starts. Make sure she's willing to settle down and commit fully to the relationship without constantly seeking someone better. If she can't do that, she's not the right one for a serious long-term commitment. Settling down is a two-way street. If only one of you is committed, it won't work. Now here's the final mistake. Can a man ever forgive a woman for cheating? Now
No.
I dive deep.
No. Nah. I don't think men
Deep in this topic in the next video. And this last mistake you don't want to miss. So check it out. See you on the next one.
I like what he did there still. I'll leave the link to the full video in the description, guys. You guys can go and check that out. Yeah, I don't think you can, man. For my personal views, you can't. I don't know any man that has maybe they need to let me know in the description the comments down below. Let me know in the comments down below, would you ever forgive a woman for cheating? I think a woman can forgive a man, but a man can't forgive a woman, because there's a difference in it. We're very territorial creatures, men, and having our women another man, nope, no chance. As I said, as men, we don't even like hearing another man's name at your woman's mouth. Like there's just an inner, even if you don't mind it in terms of your first initial thought of men, I promise you, just do that. If your woman ever mentions like Dave, like just mentions a different guy's name. Oh, do you know what? John was so funny. I don't know why I keep using John. John, if you're watching it, my bad. If your name is John, forgive me. You know, they go, oh, John was so funny at work today. I promise you, the man's initial thought is like, who the F is this guy? But then you're like, oh, what was the joke? And you don't really care. But if you hear the name too many times, yeah, we get a lot territorial in this aspect. Guys, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed reacting to this one. He didn't cover the 10th one. Obviously, we can chop it up in the comments down below, innit? Guys, wherever you are around the world, go and enjoy your day, evening, or night. It's been your boy Ends in the building. Love for the love.